Alright, so this first video is just going to be an overview of my whole DS collection, and also just with quick impressions slash review of each of the games, what I liked them, and what I didn't.
The first game I have is Mario Party DS. One of the first games I got when I got my DS. Great game. I mean, it's the exact same thing you're going to expect if you've played any of the other Mario Party games. But it's a lot of fun. The mini games are fun. I wish that it had adapted a little more of the touchscreen controls. Some of the games use the touchscreen, but a lot of it is just using the D-pad, and I wish it had been a little more interactive with the stylus. But great game, definitely recommend it. Great addition to the Mario Party series. The next game I have is SimCity DS. This game never did it for me though. I barely ever played it. I probably wouldn't recommend that game. The next game I have is FIFA Street 3. I never actually played any of the Street games, but it was fun. I think I'd still prefer the FIFA 10. I eventually got it on the 360, but I think I would have preferred having it instead of Street 3. It was a fun game. The challenges were good. Definitely very challenging. But it was a little boring and kind of repetitive. If you really like soccer games, I would say at least giving it a try if you've never played a street game before. But it was just alright. So. The next game I have is Skate It. I really did not like the controls for this one. EA tried to kind of reinvent the controls again with the DS using the touchscreen, and you have to draw on the skateboard to do the tricks, and I really didn't like it. It was kind of glitchy because I swear I would draw it perfectly and it wouldn't work, or I'd do the wrong trick. I think for the DS I'd rather go back to a button mashing game. The next game I have is Lego Batman. The first Lego game I got was Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy on my Mac. Really liked that game, so I got Lego Batman on the DS last year for Christmas. It's a good game. If you've never played any of the Lego games, I definitely would recommend getting a Lego game. But the only problem I have is that if you've played one Lego game, you've played them all, and that's very repetitive, and you're basically just shooting the same guys just with different costumes on and building the same setups and everything. But it's good to have one of them. Good game, I recommend it. But if you already have a Lego game, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably recommend getting one, but not any of the others. The next game I have is my Japanese coach. I got this game obviously because I wanted to learn some Japanese, and it is really great. It's a lot more fun than you would think it would be. But if you want to learn another language, it's a great game. I would definitely recommend it. The next game I have is Need for Speed Undercover. I've played plenty of the other Need for Speed games, and this one really I never really got that much into. I played it for a while, but I haven't played it in a very long time. Just the gameplay didn't really hold up. Felt like the controls were kind of not responsive enough for me. It just really wasn't that much fun. The next game is Nintendo's Lab and Friends, which was like one of the first games that Nintendo released with the Nintendo DS. It's a good game. If your parents are like my parents, where they won't let me have pets, that's probably a good game for a while. Good replay value for a while, but it got kind of boring. It's another game that I haven't played in a while. It was just too much of the same thing. You walk the dog, you feed the dog, and that's about it. They have these competitions, but even those got kind of boring after you win them. So, fun game for some time. It lasted me probably a couple months, and then I got a little bored, and I don't play this unless I'm really bored, and none of my other games seem interesting at the moment. So, I would recommend it, but just don't expect it to be your best friend forever. So, the next game I have is Pokemon Platinum. I haven't played a Pokemon game since Pokemon Yellow, so I decided to go ahead and get this one. There's not much I should say because people already know pretty much what to expect from a Pokemon game. I would recommend it definitely, especially if you're like me and haven't played a Pokemon game in a while. It's definitely good to pick it up again, bring back some old memories. So the next game I have is Super Mario 64 for the DS, but great Mario game, lots of fun. Let's see, the next game I have is Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, which made a lot of lists as the best game of 2009. And I haven't played it in a little while, but I definitely want to pick it up again. It was a lot of fun. I mean, who doesn't love stealing cars? It was definitely a great transition to the DS. Good storyline, great challenges, just a great game. Definitely recommend this one. Professor Layton in the Curious Village and Professor Layton in the Diabolical Box. Great puzzles in this game. And the last two games I have are Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. And these are by far my favorite games on the DS, at least that I own. Both of these games are very challenging, very fun, great storylines. Just what you would expect from a Zelda game. The Phantom Hourglass was very challenging, and one annoying part was that there's this one dungeon that you have to keep going back to, and you have to keep repeating throughout the game to move forward. And Spirit Tracks thankfully has done away with that. They realized how annoying it was, and I really like the bosses of this one better. They seem a little more creative, and there's just a lot of new aspects. You're riding a train, plus you can ride in these carts in later levels and everything. But both are excellent games. Definitely would recommend getting them both. So, thank you for watching.